Welcome back, tourists, to another episode of TableTop Tour Guides. I'm one of your hosts, Drew, and I have with us your other host, John.
Heyo.
And today we are, we got a topic to talk about. John, why don't you tell us what we're talking about today?
Today we are talking about Adepticon.
Adepticon. Yes. As of recording, I am back. This is the fourth day I'm back from the trip to Adepticon. So
for the viewers that don't know, we should tell them what Adepticon is. Of course, Adepticon is
What is
one of the
Adepticon?
biggest events of miniature
For
gaming.
everything.
Yeah, no. Like, this thing is one of the biggest events in life. You got players, you got creators, you got fans from all over. I mean, it's just crazy. And then you're talking about competitions of games and painting, and then just meeting with vendors. And stuff. It's just huge. And this year, correct me if I'm wrong, it was at Baird Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yep, and it's normally been in like Shompton, Chicago area.
In Illinois.
In Illinois, yeah. They moved venues this year.
And that's huge now, because that venue apparently in Milwaukee is, I don't know how much bigger they said, but I mean, it's 4 floors they were talking about, and has room for growth. But I mean, this thing's just huge. I mean, seeing pictures and stuff and all that, I was just blown away, and I kind of am sad that I missed it. But, where one door closes, another one opens. So I'm going to say this. You have already said that you are going to the Grand Narrative in previous episodes.
Yes.
I can now say that I have officially bought my ticket.
Woo!
And I'm joining in on the adventure.
Oh, that's awesome. Good deal. Awesome. That's honestly, for a 40K player, which is what you primarily are for now, the narrative is better.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think the narrative is better. But, so specifically, Adepticon is the miniature wargaming convention of the year. Like, it is the biggest miniatures wargaming, because like some people will say like Gen Con, has more stuff and blah blah blah, but Gen Con has more than just war games. It has board games, card games, everything. It's just games, period. It's like the whole niche. Adepticon is just war games for the most part. And so the venue this year was way better, in my opinion. This is my third year going. I think it was a much better venue, and I like Milwaukee more than I like Chicago. So, all
right. So for today's episode, because I didn't get to go, we're gonna do. You haven't seen them yet, but we have a couple questions to ask you.
Yep, I haven't seen them.
Get your responses, your true response, about your trip and everything that you guys did.
Raw right here. I haven't seen the questions. I can guess what some of them will be, but.
You didn't have to go alone, though, which was really cool, too. You got to go with Unplugged Mike.
Unplugged Mike, yes. So the owner of Unplugged, our local game store that John and I play out of here in Edmond, Oklahoma, and a founding member of 3TG, who has just been stepped away for a little bit. He and I take this trip every year. And it's really cool because he goes and does like painting classes and demos the whole time. He doesn't play any games. And so he is just looking at games to bring back and what's going to be the next big game. And then it's cool because he likes to bring me, because I'm like, I run all the games and I play a ton of different games. And so he gets to kind of see what it looks like from a vendor and a salesman and a store owner end, and like, oh, that game's easy to carry. And then for me, it's like, hey, is this worth carrying? Will people actually play
would we actually play this? Given the people that show up at the shop, hit the local community, in our age group.
Right. Well, John, you're like 10 years older than me. Don't be like our age group. Whoa, no, our age group. Whoa, man. You mean you and Mike's age group, maybe? Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, I'll take that. Y'all are closer than you are to me.
Bolt action, here we come.
Oh, dang, knife to the chest on Warlord there. Well, hang on, before we get too far into this.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are you drinking, and what's on the table? What's on the table, John?
Oh man, drinking Diet Coke, just
Diet Pepsi.
There you go. I decided not to pull out anything too heavy tonight. I did drink a little heavy last night, and because I'm hoping, when things wrap up here, if I can squeeze in another hour or something, I might be able to paint some miniatures. I don't want to do this with the airbrush.
Right.
So I'm hoping to have a little bit of my senses
Drinking
hit
that
me.
paint water.
There you go. Even though I'm currently painting Magnus the Red purple because it is my wife's Magnus and she wanted it that way.
Hey, you know what? Magnus the Purple sounds no chest armor, right? So you can have purple nurples.
Purple nurples.
There
I
you
thought
go.
about having those horns coming out.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You
sure.
touch
This
my
isn't
shoulder.
this isn't a fulgrim. This is. Are you sure? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So
Well,
that's kind of what's on the table. I've been painting actually here and there. I've painted some Tyranids. I painted Stormcast Eternals, Sisters. I get burned out if I paint the same color repetitively too much. So I have to constantly be switching to something
swap
new.
around. That's
Yeah.
cool. No, that's a pretty good tactic to like stop burnout for sure. For sure.
What about you? What's been on the table besides Adepticon?
Man, I have not stopped since getting back from Adepticon. I have gotten some of the stuff just for the sake of keeping it hush for local people watching. I'm not gonna disclose everything, but I got some Lord of the Rings stuff in the mail while I was gone. I got a demo kit for a game. I got some convention exclusive Halo Flashpoint models. And I got I think another kit of stuff, and I'm like some terrain and stuff. And I've gotten all of that built and primed, and then all the Rohan stuff, like something like 14 Rohan models, I think, all painted. And I've only been home for like 3.5 days.
Now I will say it.
I don't have a
I'm
job
going to
still.
say this is very impressive though, because since you've gone back, you brought the rain with you. So we had one probably clear day to get all this stuff ready and primed
Yeah,
before you
yeah,
couldn't go back out.
that's true. I did it
So,
all in like one day. That's
oh my
true.
goodness.
I built everything the night I got home, and then I primed it all the next day.
All right, well, we're going to
So,
tell this tale of interview questions. It's kind of like a story here.
oh,
We're going to
okay,
start at the
all right.
beginning. So, starting off, what motivated you to go to Adepticon this year? What is it that you
Ooh.
wanted to go?
Okay, so outside of just it being an awesome convention
Yeah,
that I have
outside of
gone
that, like,
to every year, I went for uh, oh man, this is a good one. So I'd been going for Kings of War every year. However, I kind of fell off the King's wagon. I haven't played it in a while. And Adepticon is a very special event. Like it's one of the biggest tournaments for whatever game you're going for every year, right? So you don't want to like squander it. Like if you're gonna go for Kings of War, it's gonna be one of the biggest Kings of War events there. And same thing for like a lot of people do their world championships there. Like Legion does a big tournament there, Marvel. So I went because for Infinity because I wanted to try not necessarily to win, but I wanted to go and kind of get refamiliar or familiarized again. I don't know how you would say it.
yeah.
With the Infinity tournament scene. I wanted to like we in five just got dropped a few months ago. We started growing a community here again. We've done a couple local tournaments, but we really haven't gone outside of our store for tournaments. And so I kind of wanted to go out, reconnect with all my old friends that I've known for years now, decade even, playing the game, get to reconnect with them, grow that love again, see what the tournament scene's actually like outside of our local meta, and get connections and then just be involved and see what Infinity really is like at the grander scale. That's the first reason. And then the second reason is Golden Demon.
Golden Demon, which we'll cover more and more. I have questions on that, but
Sure. And
when would you say is the last time you like participated in an Infinity that wasn't local, like a tournament?
Oh man,
it's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been like years, easily. I mean, it's been like before COVID. So
you started off straight. You brought in a new army that and you're like, I'm going to Adepticon with this.
And I didn't bring any of the meta shit. Like I first day there was a narrative event, like it's just a fun little wacky narrative thing. And I actually reconnected with an old friend of mine that I hadn't seen since honestly like even much further than uh we met at a War Machine weekend, like 2 years before COVID. So like maybe even more than that. So like I haven't seen him for like 7 years. His name's Brad. Brad, I don't remember your last name, man. So sorry about you. But like we met playing Monster Apocalypse, the
Ooh.
year it came out. So if you could figure out when the year that came out, we played at War Machine Weekend then, and he is such a cool guy, just an absolute legend, a sweetheart of a guy. He's from Tennessee, and we sat down like it was so funny because I know a lot of people in the gaming industry because I've been a part of so many different communities and game systems. We're on the escalator going up to registration, and Brad is on it going down. And he goes, he turns around and he goes, "Hey, Drew," and I'm like, "Hey, man." Because I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, I was like,
I
I
forgot.
know, right. I was like, I know that face. I was like, I know that face. But to be fair, we said that a lot that weekend because white nerdy dudes all look the fucking same. So like when you've seen like one nerdy white guy, you've seen them all. And so I was like, dude, I know that guy. And then sure enough, he's my round one opponent in the narrative.
Oh,
And I'm like, dude. And then
starting it off right.
dude, he, he gets it. And so like we sat there before the event started. We talked for like an hour, catching
Nice.
up, and I had no clue, and he didn't know either that we both played Infinity, and he's been playing it as long as I have. But we both he's been playing it I think a little bit longer, but like we both been playing it for roughly the same amount of time. But we only ever met playing Monster Apocalypse and War Machine, and then
Oh
now it's
man.
like, so we missed each other, and I was like, dude, I was super active, but he was in Tennessee, so
Not to veer us off too much, but every time you say Monster Apocalypse, I think back to the time that me, you, and Mike sat in the store, and
huh?
you guys sat there for an hour, being like, "What's the name of that game we played back in?" And you guys started messaging everybody. You guys were
Yeah,
just
we're trying
dead
to hit
set.
like we were like we're gonna find it out. Yeah. Holy smokes, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so Brad, I got to meet Brad, and that's what it's about for me, man. That's what Adepticon's about. Running into old friends, people that you're only gonna see at this event or maybe one other event all year, and getting to like maintain those friendships, and I absolutely love it. And so it was really cool. But like where I was going with that is like, yeah, I jumped in head first into this deep into the
Yeah.
pool, and he plays combined competitively, and
Ooh.
he got second at an event, a bigger event not too long ago, and he had to drop to catch his flight. He still got eighth out of 50,
Wow.
and he
That's
dropped. Like
crazy.
he was probably going to get second. Um, so
Call the
yeah,
boss, be like, "Sorry." Call everybody, be like,
uh,
"I can't make it. I
reschedule
gotta
that
finish
flight.
this."
Yeah, so he felt horrible about it too, and I'm like, that sucks, man. But like, the reason he decided to drop is because he did the math and he knew he couldn't get first,
Yeah, that's fair.
and so he's like, it doesn't matter at that point. I don't want to miss my flight. Like, so anyway, it's really good to see him. Also, Scott Tipsword, Clay Lundy, Chad Busel, James Chavot, Bruno. I don't know Bruno's last name. Sorry, Bruno. Dan. Yeah, there's a
That's
million people that I
yeah.
know in
So
the
that's
Infinity community.
good
That was a big reason to
motivation
go.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
to see old friends
before
and
we enter
check it out.
the doors all the way into Adepticon, I know you and Mike drove there, and I got a picture, and we have to talk about this just because I got a picture. But you guys stopped at one place apparently
No, we
called.
stopped. We stopped at. We stopped. We
You,
stopped at a couple places, but
you
yeah,
stopped at a couple places, but
yeah,
this
yeah.
one you had to make sure you sent to me, and it's like Fudge Factory Uranus.
Yes, it is a candy store slash like museum thing called Uranus. And they definitely play very very hard into the bit. Um, they are a stop we make every single year, and we take a photo every single year. And then we stopped at Bucky's as well. So
Okay, fair enough.
what was your question though?
I was just gonna say, did you see anything else interesting on your way there besides Uranus?
No, I just looked at. I had a good look at Uranus
Oh,
and walked right on into it, and you
and
know
got what you needed.
I didn't get anything out of it though.
Oh,
So no, but I'm trying to think if there was anything interesting. No, I don't really anything that there wasn't really anything notable on the way there that I
Yeah.
remember. I mean, I might be missing an entire part
I'm
of the
just a
trip,
huge
but
driving person because I like to sit there, and if we have the time permits and I see something cool, I'll be like, let's stop there, and
oh
take a
yeah, no,
picture at
we
least.
we would not do that. We are like going 90 miles per hour the whole way there and not stopping. We don't have to. So
All right. Well,
Uranus, we stopped I think the first year to pee, and then now we just have to stop there every year. But like, so now that being said, so the trip is actually huge for Mike and I
mhm.
because it's not even really the trip itself. It's not Adepticon itself that Mike and I benefit the most from. It's the 14 hours there and back that we just like, dude, we plan stuff. We start talking about ideas. We start coming up with different new ideas for events, for games. What games are we going to check out? Dude, we have like, I bring a notepad and we just start like writing stuff down and like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. And, or like, all right, let's draw like a weekly planner Monday through Sunday. What games are going to be here? We're, organizing for stuff for the shop, and what games are we excited about? What games are we going to have to make sure we really check out and bring back and blah, blah, blah. And so,
Working the
that's
whole
what we
time.
do
No
the
time
whole
off.
time. But it's so good for Mike and I because
Mhm.
we're both very busy, and so like being trapped in a only productive environment is phenomenal.
All right. So you guys drove the whole way. You get there, and you're now at the new Milwaukee
Bear center
location.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been going for years, like you said. So
Mm-hmm.
how did this new convention center, compared to the old one, do? Was
A
it 20
plus.
times?
I never want to go back to the other one ever again.
Okay.
Never again. Oh my god, no. I don't ever want to go back.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it got
we
room for growth too? It's like it's just so much space. You
uh,
don't know what to do with it.
we had parking. Like that was enough. Like at the old center,
Mhm.
we wouldn't want to leave the whole day. Like, well, you better have your shit with you from the hotel now because if we leave, we're losing our spot, and we're going to be
Yeah,
literally driving around for 30 minutes.
I've heard parking. I've listened to a couple people talk about it, and they said food being around the convention center was
Better
just
food around it. Yep.
yeah.
We walked everywhere. Like we would drive to the parking lot like within like just across the street
Hmm.
of the Bear Center, and we'd pay I think it was $25 for 24-hour parking. We'd park there, and then we would just walk everywhere we needed to from there. And it was great. It was phenomenal. Better food, better parking, Papa John's. So like it was
Papa
awesome.
John's.
Only downside to the event was
Mhm.
they had the like. So I talked to some of the Infinity guys that have been at like some of the very first Adepticons, and they said that the convention centers before were like this too, but like they had the fucking temperature set at like 76.
Ooh,
Like we
okay.
literally could see it in the rooms and be like, why is this set to that? That is not good.
Yeah, we don't need
Um,
all those
yeah,
sweaty
it
men
needs to
in
be like
there.
50 degrees in here, please. And
Yeah.
so, um, they don't believe that there's going to be like 10,000 people there.
I don't know why they don't
Like
believe that.
they don't
Like
believe
this
it.
thing's growing every year, is from what I
They just
understand.
don't like they never had it before, so they just don't think to do that. And so Infinity was very lucky because it was the first floor, right by the doorway, so the hallway, but the doors would open, and it was like 40 degrees outside. Um,
Okay.
like it was cold. And so, but the event center is also just better. The vendor hall was bigger. Like I didn't feel like I was running over people just to get around.
Uh-huh.
They had like 960 vendors, I think it was. It felt like it was a bigger showing for vendors. They also had 4 floors. The fourth floor, I want to say, was just um, seminar space, like presentations and seminars and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But if they needed to do more events and stuff, they could have that whole floor become tournaments and things too. So
Okay.
way better venue. I hope we never go back to the old one. Also, just don't like the price. Like we got better prices because it's in Milwaukee and not Chicago.
Gotcha.
So
Well, I mean, yeah, those are all pluses there.
yeah,
So, all right. Well, I guess we talked about it a little bit. The competitions you were going for. You said you were motivated for Infinity and Golden Demon.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with Infinity and how your matches went and how it all came out.
Okay, so let's do the narrative event because I did
Uh-huh.
a narrative event. There were 4 Infinity events. There was a narrative event. There was a doubles event. There was an overnight escalation tournament, and then there was the 2-day satellite, the big GT event. And the overnight thing was like from 8 to midnight every night. They would play a round of a tournament and a 3-round tournament. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday night there was a tournament.
Oh my
Like round
goodness.
1 is Thursday night, round 2 is Friday night, round 3 is Saturday night. So you basically go eat, then come back and start playing our tournament round.
Now, which ones did you do?
I did the narrative one, which is they
Uh-huh.
call it the Blame Tim, TIM, which this is an old school. I don't know if it might be current still, but I think to me it's old school Infinity joke. So there is a individual named Tim Tulin, Tim Tulin Creations. He's an awesome illustrator and graphic designer and stuff. Sorry Tim if you ever listen to this if I'm totally just botching your job titles, but he has designed team logos and patches and event logos and things for me,
Uh-huh.
and that's like his profession. And he's been in the Infinity scene for like ever. And there was I don't remember what it was, but I think it was every Friday or something like that. It was basically like, hey, what was the craziest thing that happened in a game you played this week that you could blame Tim for? And so it was almost like his name basically got turned into like God, like gosh darn it, like or like how people would be like
Yeah.
hashtag thanks Obama. It was like blame Tim, hashtag blame Tim. Oh, I got crit 3 times in a row. Blame Tim.
Oh
Like,
man. I mean, how cool is that to know that your name's just going to be constantly
yeah,
used
yeah.
throughout?
It's so cool. It's so cool. And so he's been like that's Tim. And he also is like I don't know if a founding member, but he's like I think he's been helping with Adepticon for like 15 years. And he does all the art and stuff for Adepticon. Um so that's Tim. And the narrative event is called Blame T.I.M. And it stands for like something, but it's Tim.
Yeah, it's Tim.
And there are like 8 factions of guys trying to control New Milwaukee or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly, but and I was part of a team. It's like 5-man teams, and you are controlling zones. And so like what it is like, so let's just say I won a game 10-0 on board number 2, and they had names. They weren't just called board number 2. They're
Right.
like, all right, well, my team controls that until somebody gets a higher score than me. And by
Okay.
the end of the event, oh cool. Well, we got half the boards controlled by the followers of Tim. That was like we were the Holy Order of Tim or something like that, and we're like pro Tim, and we were almost all combined army, which is pretty funny. So Tim must be part of the EI. So we got second, which is pretty cool because I lost every game. So yeah,
I'm
though
doing great, team.
it was so bonkers. Like I had no clue what to expect, man. It's a 200-point list. You
Uh-huh.
bring a 200-point list, and there's all these like if you get an operations deck for Infinity, there's like 3 decks inside the box. One
Uh-huh.
of them is classifieds that you use for regular ITS play. The other 2 are like wacky secondary missions and wacky like board effects like night fight. Everything shooting past 24 inches gets -3. Or close quarters combat. Anything shooting beyond 32 inches automatically misses.
Okay.
Or anti personnel equipment. Everybody gets 2 mines to just deploy. Man, so like it's just you get a random thing like that. And so I've never played with those. And so you got those and a faction secondary that was secret as well. Like one of mine was I can make a close combat attack against somebody and turn their wounds value into a structure value. So I'm turning
Okay.
people into robots and we're converting them to Tim. Um, and so like the reason I think I did okay is because I got my faction secondary every game. So even though I lost, I got my faction secondaries, and that's worth points.
Okay, that's good.
So it's pretty bonkers, man. And I played
That's why.
against. Good.
Okay, I was just saying that's what I love about the team events. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I could do bad, but my team can raise me up.
Right. Yeah. So it was really fun. I ended up playing against three really cool opponents. I'm not gonna say I remember everybody's names, so sorry, dudes. But I played against round one. I played against Brad, who was playing military orders, and he had a seraph, and it just jumped around the board and killed everything. And it was actually a really close game because his seraph kept fighting my total reaction robot and losing
Mhm.
and taking damage, and he finally broke through with like the last couple orders on the first turn, and then ran away, and I was unable to get back in there.
Uh,
So it was pretty cool. But then
don't you
round two, sorry, go ahead.
don't you love it when AROs just start working in your favor,
Oh
being
yeah, that's why you bring a TR bot all day. Um, then I played against what was the army I played against next? I played against Man, I remember what I played against last round, but I can't remember what I played against second round.
that's okay. It's
Well,
okay.
I played against Still Phalanx last round, and we played on this Aristea Coliseum board, and it's very cool, but
Oh,
it is
I think you
not.
sent a picture of that.
Yeah, it's not very realistic to play on. It is pretty rough. I want that board because it is super cool, but it's pretty rough to play on. In fact, actually, you just gave me an idea.
To go see who you fought in the second round by
Yes.
looking at
I'm
their.
gonna go look at the
There you
Discord.
guys go. I have good ideas. See,
Yeah,
so,
yeah. You look at you making it happen. I played against. Oh my gosh, did I not put a picture of my round two?
so we will never know.
Right. Oh, I played against Hawk Islam, I think. No,
Oh,
man,
well,
I don't know. I don't know.
I played against
Oh,
something.
yeah, I played against something. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
missed it. Yeah, I think I did not post. Oh, I didn't post pictures of the narrative rounds. I put pictures of like tables and stuff,
gotcha.
which is fine. And I'll try to put as many of these on the video as well. You guys listening and watching, I'll try to put as many pictures of the event as I can um, on the video.
You
So,
can also check out. There was a lot of shorts that Drew posted throughout
oh, that's
the event.
true. There were a lot of
Yeah,
shorts.
so you guys can see anything through the shorts. Also,
Those shorts. There was too many, too many.
hey, I felt like I was a little bit there. I got to look at it all the time, and I'd be like,
Good.
yeah,
Glad you liked them then, because
yeah.
holy moly, there were a lot. So, okay. So next question.
So that was the narrative, and then you said you
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're asking me what I did. So it was
yeah.
narrative, and then what was the actual original question?
It was basically you said what three events were there, the escalation, everything, and then I was just saying
Oh,
which ones did you
which one I
participate
did?
into,
So the other one I did
and
was
how'd you do?
the 2 day satellite, and then I played against. I went 2-1-2, so 2 wins, a tie, and on 2 losses.
That's amazing, people.
No,
It is for
it's
you
so
to
bad.
not be for you to be out of the scene that long.
Oh,
I
I'm gonna tell you why it's not good, John.
oh, okay.
Because I got 42nd out of 50. Because Infinity doesn't care about win losses.
Uh-huh.
Infinity is all about tournament points. So I don't know the exact math, but like a loss is 0 points. A tie, I think, is 1 point. If you get five or more objective points, it's another point. If you win by five or more objective points, it's a point. And if you win altogether, it's 3 points. And so it's something like that. I think the most you can get is 25 points on a 5 round tournament. And
Uh-huh.
so if you win, that's three. You win by five or more, that's another one. And if you score five or more points, you get one. So if you 10-0'd everybody, you get 1 point for getting more than 5 points, 1 point for getting more than 5 points than your opponent, and then three for winning. I think that's the math. And
Gotcha.
so my losses were like 1 point losses. Like I would score like two objective points and get like, all right, cool. Or I'm sorry, my losses were like 0 point losses. Like if I would lose with 5 points, that'd at least be one tournament point.
Right.
Or I would win and I would win by like 1 point.
Points, so you didn't get
And
the
like, all
extra
right, I only got
points.
3, right? And so even my tie, I think it was a 2-2 tie. So neither me and my or opponent got more than the 1 point for a tie. But if it would have been a 5-5, we both would have gotten 2 points. So I only had one major win, which was a 10-2 on the last round.
So it was bad, but still, just to
Yeah,
win any games, you could
that's
have
true.
lost everything.
That's true.
You
Yeah,
could
no,
have
you're
been
right.
50th out of 50th.
That's true. I mean, and to be fair, like I was happy with my results for sure. So this is true. This is true. So all right,
2-1-2 though.
2-1-2 is pretty cool.
Yeah. So with here's the next question. So with so many people and you know, you guys all in the room and everything, how was the atmosphere usually in the room? Was it people just really focused? Was it like a little bit of people having fun, but also and being real nice? Were all your opponents just great opponents, and there wasn't any really like
So
times that you had a bad moment?
I had every single game was a good game.
That's good.
Every single game. I got I tied for top 5 best sport. Um, myself. The tiebreaker was your actual placing in the event, so I
Mhm.
can't really help with that. And then I tied for top 5 paint. Well, I guess can't say tie, but I got top 5 in paint, and I got top 5 in sports. And so where I was going with the sports thing though, the atmosphere, they said over half the room got at least one best sports vote. Um,
Okay.
and so I didn't hear anything, see anything of anybody that was like, man, you're a jerk or whatever. I don't want to play a game with you. Like, and I didn't personally have any games that I was like, man, this sucked. Like, now
That's good.
there were some games that I was like, it was rough to play because
Right.
I was getting wrecked, but it wasn't because like my
Your
opponent
opponent
was a
was being
douche or
bad.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, being an
So,
asshole, something like that.
right.
Yeah, you just hear all these horror stories, and you know that's usually what drives a lot of people away from the tournament scene is they're scared of meeting those people.
And that's fair, but I have had very, very, very little of those experiences in Infinity. Brad was telling me he can recall only like 3 times, and he's been
Uh-huh.
playing for over a decade. So,
Nice.
like, that's pretty good. I mean, I
That is
think
pretty
you
good.
could probably have one at every 40K tournament.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
not the dog 40K, but like
There's just more
that's.
people at 40K though.
I'm
Sometimes.
talking about you
Oh yeah,
having
you've
you
experienced.
could
Yeah,
have one like every 40K tournament, at least
this is true.
one.
This is true.
So, and then John, you are that for some people. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah, I am that a hole. Yeah, I sit there and I'm like, man, I don't know.
Yeah,
Clearly, you can draw a line of sight to me, but I'm just gonna say you can't because I'm that a hole.
yeah. Call a judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep, those were the events I went for Infinity. I brought some 40K stuff, but I actually, as there was a casual like pickup game 40K event,
Mhm.
basically just play until you don't want to play anymore. And then I realized I didn't have a day free to like just look at the vendor hall and demo games and check out stuff with Mike. So I said, fuck it. It was $25. I'm not gonna. I'll take Friday off to go run around and do stuff with Mike.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Well, before we start capturing up the this competitive infinity moment, besides your army, which I know you love, did whose army did you like look around and see that really stood out to you in the infinity?
oh, easily mine. Mine was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best
yeah.
one.
Of course, of course. But
No, there were a couple that I liked. I mean, also there were some people that caught my attention too, just in general. Not even just the boards, but like Ash from Gorilla Miniatures was there, and so
uh,
was the Cooler. If anybody knows who the Cooler is, he actually won the whole event. Um, Armies, dude. So first of all, Brad's armies are beautiful. Brad, both his military orders and combined armies are beautiful, and I have a picture of his combined army that I'll put in the thing. But outside
uh,
of that, Infinity is such a fierce competition for good looking models because people really spend a lot of time making sure that their armies look really good.
right.
There was Captain Spud, who is a kind of a legend of the community as well. He makes a lot of like fan based web apps and stuff. he had I think it was a Pano army. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was a Pano army that was in this giant like dumpster truck, like caravan wagon thing, and his whole display board was an interactive like dollhouse essentially
Ooh.
that would fold up and like he got second in paint. So I got a picture of first place paint was a like a nomad team on like a harbor kind of like there were
Okay.
some water effects and stuff like that. So water effects are always a kind of a easy judge favor. You know, like they'll get eye catching kind of thing. So,
Right, right.
but it
Yeah,
was a good looking
I
army.
was just curious because everybody talks about Golden Demon. I'm like, that's cool, but I also want to know about the other people who painted up armies and
Yeah,
stuff and how they
yeah. The
look.
Chorus Belly stuff doesn't have an opportunity to compete in painting comps and stuff. So for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. Well, you've talked about it a little bit, but we'll just recap real quick just to make sure we don't miss anybody. Did sorry, who did you meet that you knew like besides Brad and stuff? I'm talking more of like the people
Internet
that
celebrity people.
the fandom. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Man, there were a lot. So this is why this is such a cool event. Didn't really get to meet them, but I've met them in the past. Ninjon was there, and Maniac was there. They do Trapped Under Plastic episode at Adepticon every year, which is their podcast. Um, Ian and I believe it's Richard, which is this is gonna sound so bad, because they're both Asian, so I'm not I'm not confusing them
All right,
with
guys, we're canceled. Done.
we're
Done.
canceled. But two of the three hosts from Into the West, which is a Middle Earth podcast, were there, and it was really cool getting to meet them. Or well, I got to say like hi, I love your show, and then moved on.
Yeah.
Ash and the Cooler from Gorilla Miniatures. Um, and then let's see, Ash, which Ian's not Asian by the way. I just don't remember the other fellow's
Yeah,
name, but
that's fine.
it's um oh man, Ash, Cooler, Ian, and Rich. Are there any painter people? I know one of them that I'm waiting on that I'll save for the last, but Vince Fertrella was there, but I didn't really hang out with him. Matt and Dave from Mini Wargaming, but I know them already. I didn't really get that. I got to talk with them at a. There was an event. I won't say.
Right.
I can't say what the event was for, but I was invited to an event that they happened to also be at, and I got to hang out with Matt and then Uncle Adam from. Oh man, what is his YouTube? Hobby Minions, I think. Oh man, Uncle Adam.
It's gonna get them now, guys.
Yeah. What is it? Is it Hobby Minions? Um. Oh my gosh, dude, is it Hobby Minions?
I can't wait to talk about when we get further down the questions with the games and stuff. You talking with Mini Wargaming and their game, which people know about or don't know about, but we'll get there. We
I
will
didn't
get
talk to them about their game.
there. Yeah, that's fair.
I
You
didn't
could
talk to
talk
them
to
about their
somebody.
game. Uh. Okay, yeah. Tabletop Minions. Sorry. Oh my gosh,
Tabletop
Tabletop
Minions.
Minions. Sorry. Okay, I got to hang out with him, Uncle Adam, and then also I got to meet for the first time um, Mel and Adrian from Tabletop Titans, and I got to hang out with them kind of the whole weekend. Because
Chat, I'm not gonna, or anybody listening. Chat. Yeah,
chat.
my mind went to them. They always say chat.
Yeah, dude,
I
you can tell he's a fan
love,
already.
I love Tabletop Times and Adrian and Mel. My wife and me are huge fans of them.
There you go.
We
You're
Adrian's
all
always been my dude, and then when Mel came on for Age of Sigmar, my wife loved it, and it's just yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a subscriber to them, yeah, and I have
hey,
been for years.
you mean like a
Uh,
subscriber, premium,
yeah,
a paid membership?
yeah.
Yeah.
Not on the Emperor level, sadly. They have a thing called Emperor, but I'm not
Oh
there. But
my goodness.
I do watch a lot of their behind the scenes stuff and
Well,
everything. And
They're very cool. They're very nice. They do a lot of work with Creature Caster, so I got to meet them through Creature Caster circles. They were also at a private event that I attended. That I got to hang out with them for a little bit there as well. Then I also got to see them at the Creature Caster Resin Beast ceremonies. And then I feel like we're pretty good buddies now. We made some jokes, had some fun. We kept being like, we gotta quit running into each other like this, kind of, And then I told them, this could have gone either way, but they laughed about it. I was like, I gotta just say, I thought y'all would be taller because they are not. They're not. They look like they're like six something in the like
in
6 feet,
the video
and
because
they're
I think
not.
their table's a little bit lower.
And they mentioned that, and I was
Ours,
like, all right, I appreciate it. So they're very cool.
yeah.
I also another person I got to meet that was really cool that I haven't. I would consider him a very uh, good friend, like a dear friend of mine. Um, Carlos Bastria from Corpus Belli.
Hmm.
I haven't got to see him in a long time, but he's kind of like Corpus Belli's like front man or hype man.
Yeah.
Like he's on all the videos and stuff, and haven't seen him in a long time. So it was really really good to get to catch up with him and see him. And the last big one was well, a couple of others that are like minor heroes, what I would consider like my level, like folk hero. That's what
Hmm.
I like to call myself as a folk hero. Um, Rachel Strad from Sensei Swag, Sensei Swag Miniatures, which is a uh, pretty cool miniature commission company that I actually used to work with the original founder who's passed away,
Hmm.
Viet, and they've continued on with his studio. Apollo Chang and Rachel still do work through his studio, and so it's really cool to get to see her. And she was helping GW with some stuff and some organization things. And her and I are pretty good friends. She lived in Oklahoma for a while, and I need to actually try to get in touch with them more and see if we can do any kind of cool collabs. But then
Yeah.
also Ryan and Zach, who are kind of the some of the higher end like GW guys that do a lot of the organized event stuff. Want to give them a shout out because they don't really get a lot of credit, as well as other folks like Brian Boswell, who's one of their organizers as well, and he does a lot of work for them too. And it's always really, really, really good to get to see them because they really don't get a lot of credit. And I'm gonna take this to just kind of give them a shout out because GW is strict about giving their own people credit
Hmm.
because they don't want to look nepotistic. I think that's the word. So I want to be sure to give them a shout out for all the work they do because they all ran the Golden Demon booth at some point that weekend, and I mean that's like an 8 hour shift of just checking people's models in, putting them on shelves, getting back to putting models in, checking people's models out, and so they all helped with that. They
Yeah.
also made sure the 40K events and the HCMR events ran well, as well as the booth, the like the vendor booth they have, and then all the if they had any like after hours stuff that they organized as well. So just want to give them a big shout out.
The
But the
unsung
big one,
heroes of
yeah,
all. Yeah. You
they
know
really
what?
are. They really are the
Yeah.
unsung heroes. Yeah, so I want to give them some love. Also, oh, one other one, Dave Gromley. Dave is also kind of like a folk hero esque. He wears an orc cosplay. Everywhere he goes, and it is wonderful. I love it. Dave is super cool. I see him at the narrative every year, and he was at Adepticon, and so it's really cool to get to see him. And he's pretty popular in the orc community. So, anyways, the last one, the most impactful one, the like one of my legends, one of my idols, my heroes, and they say don't meet your heroes. Fuck those people. This was everything I wanted it to be. um, Roman Lapat, who is I believe German painter. He's gotten a Slayer sword. He's won Golden Demons. He does professional painting, and he is a phenomenal artist. And he has a phenomenal YouTube channel that you should all go check out. He is the guest judge for the Golden Demon, and he did it
Okay.
in Spiel last year as well. So they flew him out here, and I was trying to. Oh, because there's another one here a little bit too, but like James Wapple, who's one of the more popular American painters in the world. He does a lot of oil painting stuff. He has a whole, like, the artist alley is called Fort Wapple, where people just paint all weekend. And Roman was at Fort Wapple for the first like day. And he had so many people around him, and I was like, I'm never gonna get to talk to this guy. Like, I'm not even gonna bother
I
him. Like,
can't
I
even
don't want
say
to
hi.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want to be
The-
that guy because he's like judging people's minis. So he's like critiquing them.
yeah.
And so they're trying to, like, I don't want to interrupt, you know what I mean? And like, so I was like, I'm never gonna actually get to meet this guy, which sucks. And then also, quick other sidebar: shout out Eric Swinson and shout out Andy Wardle and shout out to, oh man, Borjar. Oh man, hang on, uh, hang on. Oh, what was his name? Hang on, I know it. I'm just saying it wrong because it's like a Nordic name.
Well, while you look that up, I was just gonna say, yeah, they never say meet your heroes. I don't ever want to be that person either that goes to an event and like sees somebody and like rushes to them and everything. I don't want to bombard them, paparazzi them, whatever, but casually meeting somebody or walking by and just be like, hey, that's awesome to me too. Just seeing people that way.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Oh my gosh, Miniac just had him on a YouTube the other on a YouTube a YouTube. Hang on, guys. I gotta give these people the love they deserve. So the sculpting guy.
Yeah.
Hang on. I got this. I
I'm
got
terrible
this.
with names.
Well, because it's like a Norse sounding name.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because the story is hilarious. So we'll get back to Roman in a second. I found the video. Hang on. So the video, Valbjorn, that's who it is. His name is Valbjorn. So I ran into Eric Swinson, got to chat with him. I've known Eric for a few years now because he's really good friends with my buddy Steve down in Texas, and Eric is a very, very good painter. One of the best. I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best, American painter. Um, uh, Eric Swenson's really, really great. Got to chat with him for a little bit. And we were in Starbucks, and Andy Wardle, who is another very famous painter, and Valbjorn were were having coffee. And Mike went up to go do something, and Andy Wardle got up to go do something. And I was like, I know that guy from somewhere. It was Valbjorn. And I said, hey, hey. And I just across the room, he's like, what's up? And I said, I love your shoes, because he had these awesome shoes on. They were like these awesome like leather shoes on. I was like, I love your shoes. And then he's like, oh, thanks, man. And then we went back to having our coffee. And then like hours later, I'm walking by a booth and I'm like, oh, that's that guy. That's that guy that I like his shoes. It was so funny because I didn't. I was like, he looks kind of familiar, but whatever.
I
Um,
walk up to him. I still love your
I
shoes.
still love your shoes. So yeah, him and Andy are really cool. But I didn't really get to meet them per se. I just had that interaction, and then Eric, of course, I got to chat with him. He's awesome. But so Roman, back to Roman. There's no
Back to
more.
Roman.
If
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember more later, I'll bring it up. But so Roman, Mike and I are waiting on a seminar or something to start. So we're waiting on this room to empty out so we can go in to sit down for the seminar. And we're just sitting on these couches, just hanging out. And coming up the escalator with no one around, it's just Mike and I on this couch, uh, is Roman. And I was like, my eyes go wide, and I get up. Hang on, for those watching, I get up and I do one of these like, I literally like I squat down. I'm like talking to a scared animal, and I'm like, I'm not. I was like, hey man, I'm not gonna rush you. Are you? And he's like, he does it back, and so like we're both just like,
He's like,
I'm
this
like,
man's about to tackle me.
he is like, he's like, holy crap, Americans. So I'm like, hey man, can I talk to you for a second? And he was like, yeah, what's up? And so I shook his hand, and I was like, dude, oh my gosh, it's really cool to actually get to meet you. My buddy Mark in Australia and I love your work, and blah blah blah. And he's like, we've been following you for a long time, and he's like, oh, I really appreciate that. And he's just such a like gentle giant because he's like
Okay.
six something, and he's like he's German. He talks like German, and and like he doesn't talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was a bad impression, but like
You're good.
he's very. Oh, I know I'm good, Girl Scout. He's just very calm and like and he's got a strong grip and like very very like manly looking man, but he's so soft and so kind and I was really kind of expecting that and I got it and so I was thrilled and like he does I told him, I said, hey, man, you have your series about painting with emotion, and it really helped me uh, get my painting from to respect it and actually treat it like real art. And he was like, oh, I love to hear that. He's like, that's why I do it. And so, like, really got to, invest a cool moment in him and have him just be so kind and reciprocative of like of well receiving of what I had to say and very cool guy. He complained about jet lag, which is so funny because I think every other post I've seen on his Facebook has been like jet lag, jet lag, jet lag, and so. But he was such a cool guy, and I got a picture with him, and I was so happy to actually get to meet him and have him be so cool. So
So this might capture one of my future questions. So we'll just capture it now.
okay.
Was this your moment of moments? Like, was this the moment for you that stood out beyond everything? Like,
Oh man.
your
Um.
best moment in the whole thing. I know
Okay. I was
I
gonna
was going to
say
save this for later, but then it sounded like this is what this was.
I was gonna say because a moment of moments could be a bad moment too. But if you're saying like the best moment
Yeah, well,
of the whole trip, hmm.
I can let you think about that. We'll move on and come back to
I
that at
mean,
the
I
end.
think it was though, but
It,
we'll
it sounded like it was, man. That's
yeah.
why I brought this
There
forward.
there were a lot of heartwarming moments at the event, but let's give it some time. We'll marinate over it.
All right, all right.
What's the next question here?
Well, this was a good transition because you were talking about it. I was gonna question you on what seminars slash workshops did you guys do because Adepticon not only is just about playing the game, but those painting competitions and sitting down and learning things
Okay.
from different people.
Well, I'll answer this one a little quickly so we can kind of get through some more questions, but because this is a very easy one to answer. I didn't do any painting classes, but Mike did two painting classes by Sergio Calvo, phenomenal painter. Didn't actually get to meet him, which is a little sad, but Mike and him are like best buds now because Mike would just like troll him apparently in every painting class. And Sergio's a Spanish painter, and so it's pretty funny because he Mike said he was pretty obvious about trying to get people to like get his Patreon and stuff, and like he was trying to sell people on things, and Mike would just tease him about it. So, but no, I didn't do any painting classes. Mike and I went to two presentations. One was for Corvus Belli. We got to see all the new stuff coming out for Warcrow and for Infinity and we got exclusive model and all this cool stuff. Phenomenal seminar, absolutely wonderful. Like A plus. They always knock it out of the park.
Okay.
Then we went to Trench Crusades, and um, it wasn't great. It was just kind of whatever. It was like the seminar didn't really tell us about. It's not what we expected the seminar to be. It was almost like let us tell you about the history of how we started and how we got to where we're at, not
Oh,
what's coming out. And I'm like, well, I don't really care about how you got here and whatever. Like we already know that. Like
right.
you've advertised that already in your interviews and your videos you put online. Like we understand you guys were a hodgepodge of creators and you made this cool product and you're successful and that's awesome. But like I didn't want to come to a seminar to hear you tell me
You
that.
wanted them to delve deep into the lore and show me what's
Yeah,
coming out.
right. And so the only thing we really got was a world map, and so it's like okay, so
Yeah.
but we didn't even stay for the Q&A. We were like, there is nothing that this group of people are going to be able to ask us, and the people weren't very respectful. We had phone calls and like people answering phone calls or like ringers going off like the whole freaking seminar.
No, well, that
And I was
sucks.
like, these guys suck, dude. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, next question.
All right. So we're done
Speed
with that. We're done
round.
with the competition. We're done with the seminars. Let's talk about, the vendors
Okay.
and all the. So, what games did you and Mike get to try out
Oh
while you were
man.
there? I know
So
this gonna take a chunk
this
here.
should be a whole video. All right. So we didn't try any games out.
Okay.
We didn't demo any games. We don't really feel like,
Demo, but
yeah, demos are BS. Like, if like let me just put it this way: if I would have chose to buy Halo stuff off of Mantic's demo they did for me last year, I wouldn't ever own a single thing for Halo because it sucked. But
uh
by me getting to like ask all their sales guys questions about the game and the future of the game and what's coming out and all that, cool. I'm invested now. So we really don't demos aren't really
your
they're
thing.
not. I mean,
That's
if we
fair.
have time to do them, we have time to do them, but they're not needed. Um, so I'm trying to remember the path, right? So the first booth on the far end was Catalyst booth, which is BattleTech. There was a game called Partha Wars that is a new up and coming guy. Like, he's been in the industry for a long time, but he's never made a game before. He's making this game called Partha Wars. He was very cool. His name's Tommy. Very, very cool guy. He impressed Mike and I very hard. And so we're looking forward to see what Partha Wars has to offer because the models look cool.
Okay.
Then BattleTech is just BattleTech.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uh, there's probably like a quarter, maybe a third of the vendors are like paintbrushes and dice and like accessories, and so I'm not going to get into all that stuff.
All right.
Like Baron of Dice was there. Like, okay, cool. We all know who Baron of Dice is.
Did you get a discount code for them? Because I've been
No,
wanting to order us some Baron of Dice.
I did not.
I
But
I gotta show you that later. But yeah.
I was gonna say, man, why didn't you tell me while I was there? So there was a lot of accessories and stuff, which I'm not even gonna get into all that stuff. There was a game called Free Blades, which is a group out of Kansas that we have picked up before years ago, but we didn't really invest into it. And they're kind of growing bigger now, and we're like, okay, it's like a fantasy skirmish game. Um, that's all I can really remember on the first row.
Okay.
Then the next row, if we're going like up and around, the first booth is the guys who make the Fallout game, Modifius. Um,
Modifius. Okay.
we didn't really give them any like because they're basically an RPG and board game company.
Yeah.
And like I don't care about the Fallout IP, so we didn't really stick around. And so then it's the Steamforged Games booth, which is Guild Ball and War Machine.
Uh-huh.
We talked to them for a while. We were mainly there to discuss P3 Paint, so that might be coming soon. Uh, but they were cool. They were a lot better than we expected them to be because we've had issues with Steamforged games in the past.
Uh,
We were very impressed. They kind of explained to us what happened in the prior scenario that Mike mentioned to them, and they were very cool. Um, so we'll see what happens, but we're hoping. I hope, anyways, that I obviously can't speak for the store, but
right.
I think it'd be cool to get P3 paint. And that was really about all we got out of them. War Machine looks kind of cool too, but we'll see. I don't know.
We'll
It's
see
War
where that
Machine.
goes.
Yeah, we've had some issues with War Machine too. So, um, going down from there, I think it was, man, it all kind of runs together. But I think it was Creature Caster's booth next, which they had Judgment stuff out, they had their sculpts out, they had the Resin Beast stuff out. There wasn't really anything to look at there
Did you see
because
anybody that you recognize, that you talk to all the time, Peter or
Peter
anybody?
and Simon were there for sure. The
Oh,
owners,
okay.
yeah, they were there for sure. And then Mel and Adrian were helping them run their booth all weekend as well, taking photos and things like that. So that's actually where I got to meet them first. And then Peter and Simon and them I've known for a while now, for at least a year. And I didn't mean to not talk about them earlier. They're very good friends of mine, and they're very cool people. I really enjoy getting to work with them on stuff. And um,
Yeah.
the after that, it's I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's just like after that, it's like the last bit of the row is like I know it was Malifaux and I know it was Corvus Valley. I don't remember what was in between Creature
Right.
Caster
Well,
and them, but Loot Studios, which is the 3D printing company for they do a lot of D&D minis, but they have a new game coming out called Malediction. Um,
I've been looking into that. I don't know how invested I want to get into that. I need to see more gameplay of it, but it looks interesting enough.
we're kind of in the same spot because it's all 3D printed right now.
Uh,
So
yeah,
will
it's this
it
jumble.
always be? I don't know, but like if it's gonna always be 3D printed, because we don't care then, because we can't sell it at
Right.
the
You
store.
can't sell that.
And
Yeah.
then there was also Trench Crusade, and then Trench Crusade is also a mini agnostic 3D printed game, but they have told us that they want to have product in stores eventually. So
I understand people want to be mini agnostic and want you to play with whatever, but I want the cool shit. I want the lore cool shit. So, these companies need to be like, yeah, you can go mini agnostic, sure, whatever. But if you're going to tell me Tabletop Tines is a really good example, I got to see miniatures in there that looked awesome.
those aren't even the actual ones.
And they're not even the actual ones, but I'm like, those look awesome, and it got me excited. And then I
Well, so
figured that out, and I got really sad.
they said that in the seminar, is that they want to have, they're gonna let you play with whatever models you want, but they're gonna make models that you're gonna want to buy. So like Chris
Yeah, that's
demoed for me today, our local apostle, and one of our team members.
uh-huh.
And he only used. I said, "Hey, only bring Trench Crusade minis to play with. I want to see
The
their
game.
minis,"
Yeah.
and they were pretty cool. But his are 3D printed right now. But I think once stores can start to carry stuff, like, because that's the other thing too, is like Creature Casters making a whole army for them as well, and that's not going to be 3D printable. I mean, it might be 3D printable, but they'll also have it available to buy.
All right.
So anyhow's it. So then we go to Malifaux. Weird had their booth. We didn't even look at it because it's Malifaux. We already know what Malifaux is.
Yeah.
And then Corvus Belly's booth. They sold more Warcrow than they did Infinity all weekend. And I want to say they sold out of almost everything.
Which I think is
So
cool. I would still love to see a little bit more love on their website for Warcrow, because I understand Warcrow and Warcrow Adventures, but if people don't understand that information, kind of runs together still. You still read it, you see 4 factions, but when you go to the store and you look under Warcrow specifically, you only see 2. So
sure, yeah,
it could
yeah.
cause
I
problems,
just bought
but
everything from
it is
Warsmall,
it is
so
growing and it is looking great.
yeah, I think in a few months, like a couple months, it'll be a game that you can actually play.
Organized play, come on,
We
people,
need, yeah,
come on.
we really need organized play. That's the big missing link there. Um, so that was that. Corvus Belly really came to impress. They had the booth like right at the front of the vendor hall. They
Mm.
were one of the only companies that I saw that had the electronic billboard on the front of the center, playing their ISS trailer, like on
Okay.
loop, like in between other ads, it would pop up, and so very cool. They came to impress. They also had the first floor for Infinity and Warcrow, which is nice for people playing those games. Then the last row was like Warlord Games, which makes bolt action, man. Blood and Plunder's company, like Firelock Games, I think. Table War, which is some people who make some mats, and then Mantic's booth, which was mostly Halo stuff, but they're running Halo demos, selling Halo early access stuff, con exclusive stuff, and I bought a con exclusive of the Fireteam Phoenix set, and I guess that's going to come out eventually later, but I got it now, and the quality of their stuff is like right now it's PVC, and it's just very meh. It's like
Mm.
board game pieces, but this stuff is like very awesome, like resin. Very,
Finally
very
taking it
good.
up a notch,
Yeah.
being like, people want.
Way better stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already got it all built, primed. I've done the base coats on them. I'm going to try to paint them and play with them. I'm actually getting the game in tomorrow to try and learn the game. So,
Halo has the IP that if you really want to, you can make that thing detailed
yeah,
on all those different figures, and people are gonna buy
they're
and
going to love
kit
it.
bash and everything and love it.
Yep. Yep. So that was pretty much the vendor hall. Oh, and AMG. AMG had a booth.
AMG.
So,
So
and 40K,
I'm sure you
GW.
answered this already, but I guess the one that's which one stood out to you the most? I'm assuming it's Corvus
It's
Belly's
Corvus
booth.
Belly's booth. Yeah.
Okay.
Corvus Belly's booth was the best booth. GW and AMG had bigger booths, but like that doesn't mean
I'm
anything.
assuming
Like,
Ravage Star was somewhere in there.
oh, and
I
Ravage Star,
heard
yeah,
they had
yeah,
a
they were
huge
there.
booth.
They were there, yeah, and they had a giant table with people playing like a big battle on it or something. And but like no, Corvus Belly's booth was the best booth there, without a doubt. So
Yeah, that's fair. Um, let's see. So I don't know. I guess the next question I would ask is, what did you kind of like purchase from there? Did you purchase a few things
yeah, so
here and there?
I don't typically buy stuff from Adepticon
Uh-huh.
because people don't game companies don't do exclusives anymore. Like they really don't. Like they don't do con exclusives, and so which irritates me because it's like, why would I buy this from you when in like 2 weeks I'm gonna get it from my local game store and I'm gonna support them?
Right.
So like I never buy anything from Adepticon. This year that changed. Um, I bought a really awesome exclusive like handcrafted metal objective set and dice tray and dice that came in a bundle for like $85 because I bought the con exclusive challenge coin. The
Uh-huh.
guys, this awesome group of dudes that are there every year, they handcraft like everything. They handcraft like the challenge coin every year. And I buy one every year. And I say handcrafted, like probably sculpt it and then press it. But like
Right.
it's awesome stuff. It's really good quality. They just had a bundle. If you bought the challenge coin, you got a discount on this big bundle of stuff. And so I got like 20 Adepticon dice, an awesome wooden dice box, and an objective marker set, a six marker objective marker set.
You didn't
And
bring me back one?
no, it was too much money. $85, yeah. And to be fair, I was 10% Voodoo Rangers in whenever
Oh.
I bought that. So looking back at it now, I bought a second challenge coin as well, and I was not supposed to. You can have my other challenge coin if you want. Um, I don't need it. I didn't realize that. Well, because they had it on the booth with a
Uh-huh.
skull and then an eagle, and I thought, oh, I need a skull and an eagle one. It's just
Right.
front and back.
Oh. Dang. Gotcha.
So I was
Got
like, golly. So I also bought, and this is it. This is it, kind of irritating to me. But I bought the Fireteam Phoenix Show Special Limited Edition, which I guess it's like it says it's a limited edition pack only available for the 2025 show season.
Uh-huh.
But I thought somebody mentioned to me that they're coming out in a few months for like online sale. And I'm like, well, what the heck, man? Like, then is it exclusive or not? And so, because like I wouldn't have bought it if it was able to
If
be
it w-
ordered through the store. Like, so we'll see.
Fair.
Maybe that team will come out and it'll be like different poses or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Which if that's the case, then it's fine. And I also got the ISS convention bundle, which for Infinity, which isn't anything exclusive. Well, I think one of the minis is exclusive, but it's just a special deal for the event. So
Gotcha.
that's the most I've bought over like the last 3 years of Adepticon. So
Well, we are getting to the last of the questions. We got 3 more, and
wow,
we're
we were
trying to
making good
wind
timing then.
down.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, I didn't.
We,
Are you sure? You
yeah.
told me there were 17. Are you checking them off?
Yep. I've been going
Wow.
through them and checking them
Oh,
off.
I was.
You've either covered them in other
Oh, okay.
topics that we've talked
Okay.
about, and I've had to eliminate them and
I was gonna
stuff.
say, I feel like you've not asked me 17 questions.
I've asked you quite a few.
Okay. All right. All right. Fair enough.
You know, so
Still got my magic moment question in there.
yeah, your magic moment,
Yep.
which
We can say that for the last.
yeah, we can save that for last. So I'm just going through it real quick. Yeah, looking good. All right, so
Moment.
here we go. Closing time here. Is there anything you would have liked to see at Adepticon this year that you did not?
Yeah. How about Games Workshop? No, I better not say that. So
Whoa,
no,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
no,
whoa.
no, no, no.
I thought you were just gonna say me. You missed me.
Oh,
And
that
you...
was it actually. Honestly, so that actually is not just you, but like, I mean, last year we had like 10 guys go for Legion from Oklahoma. And it's like, where did everybody go? That's kind of like, it was weird having, I mean, well, I don't want to say it was weird because we have a fun. Mike and I have fun regardless. And it's just Mike and I in the card every year. We had Josh Cook go with us the first year. But outside of that, it's just been him and I. And we have a blast. Mike and I have a really good time. So we don't need anybody else to go. But like, it's just like, man, it'd be cool to show up in force. But something I wish I would have seen. Honestly, no. Like we were coming into this thing thinking that we'd have no games to bring back, or we would have no games that we would find interesting. But we found a lot of games that we are looking forward to that aren't out yet, or maybe are growing. Maybe if I was to say anything, it'd be like really nitpicky stuff. That like, yeah, I wish it happened, but maybe it's not like a deal breaker that it didn't. Like maybe a Warcrow 2-player set instead of just another faction box, right? I would have loved two more factions in the form of like a 2-player box or
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. I don't know, like, but that's not really like a deal breaker, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I don't really think so. You didn't ask me about Golden Demon at all, by the way.
Oh, it
You
was supposed to be
did.
in the competition. I'm so sorry.
Wham.
Let's rewind back. Let's talk about Golden Demon. I'm so sorry. It was the second part of you are
I was like,
competitive, and
dude, this
then
is.
we
I was like,
started
we're
talking.
we're
We
making
started
good
talking about
time.
all the different events, and I was like, "Well, we captured that, right?" And I was like,
Oh
"Wait a
man,
second, no,
I was
we
like, we're
forgot
making
Golden
great
Demon."
time now.
Yeah, so let's talk about let's
Mm.
back up a little bit then.
All
Let's talk
right.
about your Golden Demon.
Okay. Man. All right. How to say this without sounding ungrateful? So I put in two pieces.
Uh huh.
The first of all, the competition was awesome. Wonderful pieces everywhere. GW does a great job presenting the pieces. I think some people have issues with it, but I think they were pretty easy to get around and look at. They also had really easy check in and check out. I never really had to wait very long. Um, I entered a Blood Bowl orc and I entered a Lieutenant Titus that I had kit bashed. You can find both of those on my Instagram, ASR Miniature Art. Um, and I got notable entry for both of them. And so the way it works is it's nothing, notable, commendable, finalist, trophy. So I got second to last, which is what I got
Uh,
last year. So I didn't get worse than I did last year. I didn't degrade, but I'm not. I just am not very happy with how I did at Golden Demon. Um,
right.
so which is it's tough to say this, right? Because I had a lot of people that were very encouraging over the weekend. A lot of people that were like, "Man, oh, dude, that's really cool that you got notable," and some other people that got notable that they are proud of it and they should be proud of it. Like, there's nothing. I'm not saying that I shouldn't be proud of what I did, and that oh, I'm better than everyone else, so I should have got commended. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm not trying to sound some kind of way about it. But for me, it was like a little disheartening because I had put in a lot of hours into my pieces and I learned so much. And that's what I have to take from this is like how much growth I got out of these two pieces, like how much better I got as a painter. But I was really hoping to get commended
Uh-huh.
and get to that next step. And so having spent the last several months to just stay where I'm at,
Yeah, notable, yeah.
and
But
I put in way more work than I did last year, and I still got notable. And so I'm kind of like, man, I was really wanting to get to that next step. And a lot of people were very positive and very encouraging. Oh, that's awesome that you got notable, and it is because it's I want to say somebody said it's top 25% um, in your category
okay,
is
that's all.
notable.
Yeah.
And don't quote me on that. But I want to say that's what somebody said because I asked a lot of questions, but I always do. I always ask about, hey, explain to me what this means
Uh-huh.
because I want to know. I like just telling me notable and giving me a little pin doesn't give me any information.
Right.
So I always ask other painters or people I know and staff and stuff like that to help me understand it. And so, but like, I was just a little disappointed because I wanted to do better. And I'm very hard on myself with my art. Um, but I was told that this was very very harsh judging. Like this is very very tough judging, and for that percentage, I'm
Uh-huh.
like I should be happy with that. And so I mean, sure, but and other people also like, oh, I wish I had gotten notable, or man, I was so happy that I got notable, or and it's like, and I get
Right.
that, but that's where you're at in your
Yeah,
journey.
you're hoping to be on the next step of your journey.
Right. That's great for you. You got that milestone. That you needed that. I was not trying to repeat that same milestone. And so it's a little disappointing, but
Right.
that's just the way it is. I'm very happy with my models. I'm looking forward to the next year. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to have to probably spend a month here soon scouring through Games Workshop's catalog to pick categories and pieces out and go from there. So I'm going to try again. That's all you can
Hey,
do.
Yeah, I mean, but hopefully, the next time will be better. It's just it did suck, but your model was amazing. We got to see it. It is in a short. I'm sure you'll post a picture of it in
Oh,
one of the shorts that you had. Yeah, you
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
you captured both of your
I'll try to
models.
add some photos here. There's so many photos. I'm not gonna be able to put them
Mm.
all, but I'll try to put
Yeah,
some
no, not
photos in
every
here.
photo, but
I'll try to
um,
put a few in here.
and I felt like it was a very fierce competition. Again, this is worldwide. You are
Yeah,
you are going against people like Den John and all
like
all of them.
Sergio Calvo, who's I think he's my favorite painter in the world, and he's one of the best painters I've ever seen, and I don't think he got a single trophy. He got commended at his highest piece.
Wow.
So I mean, it's like it's humbling. It's very
All
humbling
right.
and perspective forcing uh, competition. It's always very hard. So, but you just have to keep going. I mean, that's not why
Yeah.
we do it. We do it because painting is therapeutic, and the art is still the art.
Yep.
But
That's fair.
next question.
All right, coming back to the
The last
to the
two.
present, the last two.
Okay,
So I'm sure you go every year, but
I do.
now that's in Milwaukee and stuff. Just to clarify for the viewers, do you and Mike plan on going next year? Or at least you. Do you plan on going next year and never missing an Adepticon? Because
I mean, I don't want to ever miss an Adepticon.
it's fair.
I'll go every year. It's the only place I can go to do Demon, to Golden
Hmm.
Demon, unless I decide to go to Germany. That would be probably the only reason I would not go. If I want to go to Adepticon every year for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
But if there was a reason that I would actively choose to not go, it would be because I was going to another event of equal proportion.
Gotcha.
So like Spiel is the largest gaming event in the world,
Hmm.
and it's got a Golden Demon. So if I was like, hey, I'm going to go to Spiel this year instead, then
Where's Spiel normally?
Germany.
Like, it's in Germany.
Yeah, I believe that's Germany. Spiel. Let's find out.
I'm I'm just surprised. I'm not. I'm surprised the
Spiel Essen.
UK
Yeah,
does not have a huge event since that's where Warhammer is based out of. Like
sure. Well, I think that's why it's in. Well, a lot of board games and miniature games are produced in Germany.
okay,
So, like Asmodee is all in Germany, and they're like the largest global distribution for miniatures and war games. Like they do all AMG stuff. So Spiel Essen though is in Germany. So, but
that's
yeah,
fair.
but
Is
or
it
if I was
normally
gonna,
like in fall?
I think it's in the fall. Yeah, I
Gotcha.
think it's like right after Gen Con or right before it. I think it's a little bit after Gen Con. So I think it's near the end of the year. But anyways, yep. So I'm going to go again though. I think Mike is too. We didn't see anything that this was my best Adepticon.
Yeah.
So, but
Just
that'd
hoping I get to go next year with you.
be cool.
You know.
That would be really cool to have all three of us go. So
Well.
so my
Uh,
moment.
yep. Oh well. If you want to say moment for the very last, I have one more question before
Oh,
that.
what's the other question?
Uh, what would you say to somebody, a tourist or anybody else who's
Don't go.
listening,
Leave it all to me.
to go to Adepticon?
yeah,
Don't go if you're going to Golden Demon. I don't want any
yeah,
competition.
yeah. If you're any of those painters I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, don't go next year, please. I need you to please take a year off. um, man, okay. Biggest advice I can give you is don't wait to sign up for stuff. Um, when they have tickets go live in January, you should already know before the tickets go live what events you're signing up for because they put a fake catalog like a mock-up of the like a pre-checkout
Mhm.
thing up like weeks before and like we have it all planned out we know and if you over register for something that's better
Mhm.
than under registering for missing something like I signed up for an event this year that I didn't go to no everybody expects there to be drops don't be like I have to go to do everything but if you're a tourist I always recommend having one day to just go check out the con, go look at everything. I always have one day every year where I don't do anything but go look at every single thing going on.
And there's a lot going
A
on,
lot going on.
apparently.
Yep.
So
We went through that vendor hall like 4 times.
nice. I mean,
So
yeah, it was huge. I saw pictures of it and stuff, and I was like, holy crap.
yeah, and we found
Um,
something new every single time.
well, let's go ahead and capture that moment that we keep talking, keep bringing back to. Your favorite moment. Maybe your favorite and your worst moment. Let's
All
get
right,
both.
favorite and worst. Worst is easy. Worst was um when I was going by the demon cabinets and I saw notable on my Titus, and then they had just taken the Blood Bowl back to judge, and then I came back about an hour later and they put them all back out, and I got notable on my Blood Bowl.
Mm,
Like I just completely just was like, all right,
disheartened.
cool, that's the end of the con now. Like I didn't win. I didn't win anything at the convention,
What
which
day
was
is that? Is that Saturday too? So you still have another day to go
I think it was Saturday. Yeah, like I had a whole day left to
to
be
try
like,
to rally yourself back
cool.
up.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very disheartening. The whole event was because I didn't place very well in the tournament. I didn't win sports. I didn't win paint. I didn't win anything. Like I didn't. There were no like consolidation prizes. I didn't. So I didn't win anything there. I didn't win anything in Resin Beast, which I wasn't really expecting to. But and then I didn't win anything in Golden Demon. And so I had a very low moment at the event where I just was kind of like, all right, well, whatever, time to go home. That's the end of it all. So
It's
which
not
I,
about
I
what you
I
win; it's about the
yeah,
friends along the
no, for
way.
sure. And there's a redeeming moment for this.
Yeah, yeah.
But I had a low, which I think is totally normal and fine. Not to sound like a crybaby, but I had a very low moment at the whole event where I was like, dang, I really didn't win jack. Cause it's not even that I didn't win anything. It's that, all right, I got to wait for a whole fucking year now
To do
to
another, yeah.
try again. Like there's not another Adepticon to go to. So, the high, I'm gonna have these tie because the Roman Lapat moment is like, I mean that is the moment, like getting to meet one of your icons and just a good human being and like have that moment of we were on the same level at that point, like we were equals, right? We
Mhm.
were just two artists, and that's what I have to tell myself to remind myself of whenever I think about that low moment. Is it's like, I literally had the best interaction I could have ever had with. I mean, I guess we could have went to like Six Flags, but like,
We're going
but
to Disney
yeah,
World.
going to Disney World with me and Roman Lapat. Uh, but like, Roman, if you listen to this episode, I'll buy us tickets, dude. Let me know when. Oh, we'll go. John's going this Christmas, so we'll go with
Yeah.
John. Dude, that'd be so awesome. What's the Barker family Christmas, right? There it is, in Roman and I going in with you. Oh, that'd be so wicked. I'd love that. But no, so but the that moment was the moment, right? Because
Mhm.
like looking back at the low times, it's like, you know what? Like I literally got to the guy who judged my piece, like where we were there was a point where we were equals, right? We were just
Mhm.
both artists appreciating art. And that's just it. But if there was a runner-up moment, not to downplay this, because my buddy, I love you so much. Uh, One of my good buddies, Boz, Brian Boswell, yeah, we call him Boz, but like he is at like every, he's at like every single GW event that, well, I don't want to say every single, but he's at a lot of them. I see him all the time. He's at the narrative every year. He runs the kill team, the entire kill team portion for the narrative. He's at a lot of different opens they do. He's actually considering coming to Feel No Pain. He listens, so I know he's going to hear this too. He's actually a subscriber, which that was cool, by the way, too. We upped our subscribers count by like 9 or 10 people, I think 8, 9 or 10 people.
Oh, nice.
And I only gave out 5 stickers, so we got a lot of people really hyped about the channel, which is really cool. Thank you guys that I met that subscribed, by the way. Would love for you guys to comment on this video. But Boz, I sent him a message. I was like, hey man, can you help me understand these, blah blah blah, these what these notable pins are? And he actually saw me sitting on a bench and came up to me when he got that message and talked to me about it. And I was like, dude, I didn't realize you got two notables. That's so cool. And he's just so encouraging. And I was in a very I was defeated. I was ready to be done. And like,
Yeah.
I made a joke to somebody. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna like spike my model up against the wall, and they're please don't do that. They're great models. And so I think it was Boz, but he really helped me out. And so that would be another good moment. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of micro moments at that event because there's so many positive things going on. Like overall, I didn't win jack, but it was my best Adepticon.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I mean, I think overall it was pretty great. Again, it's really not the losing that sucks. It's the waiting. I don't, because now it's like I was going to enter next year again anyways, but I don't want to. But now I have to do a whole year of waiting to compete in another tournament.
Well, you don't have to wait. You start now. You get 1,000
hours. I know. But like, and I'm just saying, like, it's gonna be something like that, and that road is long and painful.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got like 4 minutes left. I think that's all the questions.
That's it. I'm out of questions.
Okay. So again, thanks everybody I met at the event and all my opponents and stuff. And if you subscribed, it would be really cool to like anybody I met at the event to comment on the video. John, thanks for asking the questions, man. I'm sorry you didn't get to go, but it was really cool to have you still be part of the episode for that. So
yeah, I'm already looking next year though. I'm getting ready.
If you went to Adepticon, tell us what your favorite event was. And yeah, I think John, you have any last words there?
No, I think I'm good actually. I just gotta say, for us, a lot of exciting stuff. We're still things coming down the pipeline. Things changed. A lot of good news coming back from Adepticon.
Yep.
We're still working on the battle report room, and
yep. Mike might be coming back some.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of exciting things about to happen. I can't wait.
New games that we're checking out. The team, the local team, competitive team's growing. The channel's getting stuff ready for the streaming. Mike might be coming back on for some episodes. Yeah, definitely some really cool.
I don't know if we have it, but if we do, if we have a set, I'd like to show off the jersey at some point, just the design, because you made like this awesome design, and I really love that.
There's a new one.
Oh, there's a new one.
Yeah, there's a new one.
I haven't seen this.
We're not doing the old one just because like it's not. We're not doing that style and that material. It's not very comfortable.
Okay.
But there's some new ones that we'll be sharing around. So
sounds good. We'll have to come on an episode with both our jerseys on.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be dope. That way we can show them off. That'd be dope. Yeah. We have to do that. All right. Cool.
Well, that's it.
Sign us off, John.
Nothing else. All right.
You're running the show here. Sign us off.
This is you to do the intro and you sign off.
It's just your episode.
Well, tour guides, thanks for joining us. I'm one of your hosts, John, and your other host, Drew, saying bye.
See ya.